I bet you didn't know. You are wearing something right now. You did not think twice about it. You put it on this morning almost automatically, the way you breathe or blink, and you have been doing that your whole life without ever stopping to ask why. But the real answer is far stranger than you think. Clothes are not about modesty, they are not about warmth, and they are definitely not about fashion. The real reason your ancestors started covering their bodies was a survival decision so specific, so biological, so woven into the story of what made humans human, that it changes everything you thought you understood about the thing hanging in your closet. Let's go back, way back. For most of human prehistory, your ancestors wore nothing. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they had not yet figured out how to sew. It was because for millions of years, they did not need to. Early hominins were covered in hair, the same dense body hair that still covers most mammals alive today. That hair was insulation. It was protection. It was enough. Then something changed. Around 1.7 to 1.5 million years ago, your ancestors began to lose their body hair. Not all at once. Gradually, strand by strand, generation by generation, the thick coat that had protected their bodies started to disappear. And for a long time, no one could explain why. Why would evolution strip away a feature that was clearly working? The answer came from an unexpected place: parasites. In 2003, evolutionary biologist Mark Pagel and zoologist Walter Bodmer published a study proposing what became known as the ectoparasite hypothesis. Their argument was unsettling in the best possible way. Body hair is not just insulation, it is a habitat. A warm, dark, densely structured environment that ticks, lice, fleas, and mites find extraordinarily hospitable. And when your ancestors started living in larger social groups, those parasites moved between bodies easily. They spread disease, they caused infection, they killed. Natural selection found a solution. Lose the hair. Remove the habitat. Make the body a hostile environment for anything that wanted to live on it. So your ancestors did. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the body hair thinned and vanished from most of the body. And suddenly, naked hominins were walking across the African savanna under a merciless equatorial sun. Now there was a new problem. Without fur, how do you stay cool? This is where the story gets genuinely extraordinary. Losing body hair did not happen in isolation. It happened alongside one of the most radical biological upgrades in the history of any primate, the sweat gland explosion. Anthropologist Nina Jablonski, one of the world's leading researchers on human skin, has spent decades piecing together this story. Her work shows that as body hair disappeared, the number of eccrine sweat glands in human skin multiplied dramatically. Today, your body carries between 2 and 4 million sweat glands. Chimpanzees have far fewer. Gorillas, fewer still. No other primate sweats the way you do. Sweating is not just a cooling mechanism, it is a performance technology. It is what allowed your ancestors to run prey animals into the ground in the middle of the day, under a sun that killed everything else that tried to move through it. While lions rested in the shade, while zebras overheated and slowed, your ancestors kept moving. They ran, they walked, they ran again for hours, until the prey collapsed from heat exhaustion. This hunting strategy, called persistence hunting, required a naked body capable of dissipating heat faster than any other creature on the savanna. Fur would have ended it before it started. So now you have a naked, sweat-soaked, brilliantly heat-adapted hominin with a new problem. The sun that made persistence hunting possible was also destroying skin. Without fur, ultraviolet radiation hit the body directly. It damaged cells. It broke down folate, a B vitamin critical to fetal development and sperm production. Too much UV exposure and reproduction itself became compromised. Jablonski's research showed that evolution answered this too. As body hair disappeared, melanin production in human skin increased at the equator. Dark skin emerged not as an aesthetic feature, but as biological sunscreen, a direct evolutionary response to the exposed skin that the loss of fur created. So follow the chain. Larger social groups created parasite pressure. Parasite pressure drove the loss of body hair. Hair loss enabled sweat-based thermoregulation. Thermoregulation enabled persistence hunting, Exposed skin demanded UV protection. UV pressure drove changes in skin pigmentation. Every step connected. But there is still a missing piece. If naked skin worked so brilliantly in Equatorial Africa, why are you wearing clothes right now? Because your ancestors left. Somewhere between 70,000 and 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began migrating out of Africa, north, east, into environment. If you learned something new, be sure to like and follow for more facts and stories.